faith, family, and what? Freedom season. That's the kind of season we're in. Let me tell you about our coach that's going to be on. He's a coach. He's a mentor. He's a man of faith. He's an influencer. He's a father. He's a community leader. He is our Star Wars Yoda. You know, Star Wars got Yoda. Well, ACES got a Yoda. He's one of our Yodas. He's one of our Yodas. He is one of the top 100 influencers in the state of California. I'll say it again. He's one of the top 100 influencers in the state of California. He loves helping people restore their hope. Without further ado, Senior Vice President, the one and only, Mr. Byron Nelson.
Amazing morning. How are you, sir?
Blessed, on top, and rising. Like those blast brains.
Oh yeah, man. I had to pick up. I had to get some new ones. Oh, I want to say good morning to everybody. I can't see. I'm actually going to be transferring from my phone to my computer because all my computers are actually warming up, which really gets into the topic for the day. And the topic for the day is, are you ready? Are you ready for everything that you, thank you, Nicole. Are you ready for everything? That's the difference of the phone. See, when you're on the computer, you don't see all the chat on the side, and then it pops up on your phone, so you're able to actually acknowledge people. But are you actually ready for what you say you want? Right. So when you look at, and I was thinking about it, like, well, when I say not, and not as much as Mr. Al Thomas, as many cars as he probably has, but my more expensive cars and the things that I'm dealing with right now, I noticed the difference of the ones that cost under six figures versus the ones that cost over six figures. The ones that are over six figures has forced me to understand with wisdom how to take care of my cars that are under six figures. What does that mean? The way we run our life, and you heard this, and you can write this down, the way we do anything is the way we do everything. And in that, what happens is we just get up and we start running. We'll brush our teeth, we'll wash our face, we'll just take a quick shower, and we got to go somewhere. Most people live their life in a rush, busy all the time. Instead of understanding taking just a few more steps in life will allow you to get the longevity and get you the space and time out of what you actually invested in. What do I mean by that? Because people jump into our business with a microwave mentality, they burn the engine out real fast. And so they get stuck, or they just drag themselves, or they drag until they actually burn out and you don't see them. They go into the witness protection program. And so when you start understanding, why is it that either myself, meaning you can physically be somewhere, but not actually spiritually be present? Why is it myself? Not necessarily, why am I not where I want to be? Why am I not moving at the pace that I want to be, or at the place? And it has nothing to do with the business. You look at all these bonuses and money and things on the table. People say, I got in for the money. Mr. Al Thomas just said there's $7,000, I'm giving away more. But people don't take advantage of it. A lot of times because the engine is burnt out. You know, the rotary is messed up. There's a rubber band that probably, you didn't get the tune up when you were supposed to. And that goes into, am I ready? Am I really prepared? Let's think about what your dreams are. Let's think about your focus as far as what your why, and write that down. What is my dream? Okay, my dream is to take care of my mom. My dream is to be able to be debt free. My dream is to walk off my job. Let's just revisit that in our head. I want to be able to make, 7 figures, 8 figures, whatever it is that you want to make. That's all great. But the question is, are you ready for everything that you say that you want? I look at dating, for example. You've gone through a lot of, ask yourself why you've dated before you're married. Many of you are married. Many of you have partners. But before you found what you think is your soulmate, or is the person you're going to be with, considering in California, the divorce rate is up at 90%. But before you met that person, and many that haven't, why did you date all the people that you dated? And in that journey, wasn't it the ones that did not work? Was it that you weren't ready or they weren't ready? Because a lot of people, when they get into any kind of junction, any type of venture, anything personal, and this business is personal, they actually think they're ready for everything they say they want. But then I would ask you, like, for example, I'm the ambassador, one of 3 ambassadors for putting in place a mastermind this year for Sir Richard Branson, which I'm so honored to be. And so the confluence that comes with being able to be in charge of a sold out event, the minimum ticket for 2 days, where they're all 7-figure and up players. And I'm creating a mastermind, which, as you guys know, that's my forte, is the mental side of things, is a minimum of $150,000 for 2 days. So my question to you is that these are all 7 and 8 and 9-figure players of over 100 people showing up that sold out in less than 2 weeks. How much, and that's not including airfare or where they're staying or how they're being hosted on the island. My question to you is, how much have you invested in your growth this year or last year? So when I ask you, are you ready? How much are you evolving? How much are you growing? How much are you investing in becoming who you need to become in order to be that person? You know, I was having a conversation with a friend yesterday, late, driving, who I'm setting up on some investments. And she was like, my daughter doesn't want to necessarily do what I'm doing because she thinks it's going to mess with her credit. I said, when you're purchasing stocks or bonds, it has nothing to do with your credit. It's either a good buy or it's a bad buy. It's either going to go up or it's going to go down. That's called ignorance. I know, but she's in her young 20s and she's around these ball players, that, you know, football players. And there's an amazing book on that called Slavery in regards to athletics. And in that, they all make 7 figures because she's one of the agents who's brokering deals. I said, does she understand that 90% of those people will never even retain their money because they weren't ready? It doesn't matter if you accumulate all the wealth, all the money, all the homes. People, I mean, it's amazing how it's easy to get, it's quicker to lose. If you aren't prepped to take advantage of the things that you say that you want, to be in a position, I go back to the car. I've learned over time, it's nothing. It's an extra 3 to 5 minutes to let your car warm up. You'd be amazed, or maybe you wouldn't, how many people just jump in their car and they just drive. Why? Because there's not much vested in it. It's a $40 or $50 or $60,000 car. They're just running. They're just going where they got to go. They haven't even thought about it, to just take 5 minutes and let the engine warm up. Now, it's not much at first, but if you take the time to really listen, you'll hear the engine actually revved at a higher pace than after the next 3 to 5 minutes, as the engine warms up and it calms down and the whole car starts to get into a space where all the juices, all the oils, everything starts to move and it's warm. It's just like your body. We get up and we just start running instead of getting up every day. That extra 5 minutes to get up 5 to 10 minutes earlier in the morning to stretch your body, not become a professional athlete, not necessarily go crazy in the gym, but just to stretch your body. Get on your knees and just completely lean forward, lean back, get up, do some side bends, just reach down and touch your toes. You can actually tell the distinction of the people at 50, 60, and 70 years old that are walking with a hunchback or really bad posture, or their back is messed up, or they're looking like they're always in pain, versus the person that took the 5 minutes to warm up the body. See, that body of yours is a machine. It's a Ferrari. Or it's not, because you treated it like it was, an old, RX-7. You're just driving it. And the way you treat your life, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So the way you treat your body, the way you're treating your cars, the way you're treating everything in regards to this business, as far as being ready, being prepped, and being able.
So what we're talking about more than anything else is just truly being in a position. So it's really a matter of, before you can build what you say you want to build, before you can have what you say you want to have, are you really ready for that? And I want you to imagine, for every relationship you've ever been in, you thought that was the one, or you had amazing experiences. But you got to ask yourself, was that person not ready as to the reason it didn't work out, or were you not ready? So that 6, 7 figures that you want to accumulate, that home that you want to accumulate, that life that you want to design, are you prepared mentally, spiritually, and from an education perspective on truly how to take advantage of that? I would challenge you, if I sat down with you, to say, okay,
you just got started or you've been in for 2 or 3 years. Do you have a corporation specifically for ACN? Do you at least have an LLC that's set up specifically for ACN? Because if you don't have a corporation and your name is not behind your corp, then you aren't really running a business. You're running a daycare. You can't expect to say that I want to make, I have some deals on the table right now that are massive, I mean, massive, without getting into numbers. And the first thing they said is your corp set up and prepped for the taxes, for the money that's going to be coming into your account? So I'm asking you, if you're running an ACN business and you're expecting and want to make a significant amount of income, you may have a business, many of you are business people, many of you have other businesses, but did you have one set up specifically for ACN? That would be my first question. Are you set up to learn about whatever product, each service and product that you want to actually explode? Are you just relying on the trade? Because I used to work for Pactel. I'm dating myself. Pactel when it was a pager. We had training 3 times a week on a pager. I then helped with one of the mergers, and then I helped with the cell phone. And then I went into that without going into my whole history. And we had 3 times a week training on just how to market the cell phone. Every benefit the cell phone had, every downplay the cell phone had, on all of our competition for that one cell phone. Now you have a smorgasbord. You now have health. You got all these different products and services. And it amazes me that a person aligns themselves to being excited about having 1 or 150 points, when if you add that up, that's not more than 50 to 60, 70 customers at best. And they've been in for a year. So your store has for a year only had 70 customers if you're extraordinary in this business. Let's see, 70 divided by 12. So we're looking at maybe 6 customers a week. Now, if you ran a restaurant, how long would your business stay in business if you only had 6 customers a week come into a restaurant? You had to pay for the overhead, you had to pay for the employees, you had to pay for the cashier, you had to do the CPA, you had to pay for the food, you had to make sure you had the cups, you had the supplies, you had to pay for the cleaning, you have to pay for the utensils, but you have 6 customers a week. If you're extraordinary, don't have less than 150 points. Oh my God. When did you go bankrupt? Is anybody getting this? Just nod your head if anybody understands this conversation. So the question comes back to, how can I expect to build a squad? How can I expect to have a family? How can I expect to build a village? And I have not prepped to build my own home and take care of my own house. That's biblical. God takes care of those who take care of their own. Start in the home. Every problem, I was listening because I'm dealing with this thing with teen criminals. And I was having a conversation in an interview, and they were asking, you know, they're called yummies. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, for people that are familiar with some of the stuff that's happening in this world. But yummies are predicated on this slew of kids and teens between 13 and 15 that are killers. I mean, like stone killers. And they were asking us, like, we got to do something about these kids, these teens. And my response was, I've never seen a 7-year-old go to prison for killing somebody. I said, what's your point? I said, the problem doesn't start at 12, 13, 14. It started in the home, or the lack of. So if you want to create a solution for the problem, you got to go to the root. If you want to create a solution for your wealth, for your life, you're going to have to go to the root. If your business is not thriving, there's something wrong with the fertilizer and the root inside your own house, inside your own mental, inside your own spirit, that is deflecting versus attracting prosperity and abundance. I have a program I'm redoing and recreating called The Waiting Room. When you're in business, you want to create a waiting room. You want to create a standing waiting room of people who are waiting to get into your business, that are waiting to become your customers. That is reverse engineering the process where you are not out there chasing a friend or a cousin, and feeling like you're a cheap salesperson for every person that you talk to. But that comes from rewiring. That comes from all this back here. That comes from all the new downloads. That comes from the surroundings. It comes from the people that are around you. A person can't get past, $100,000 a year if everybody around them only makes $75,000. If the 5 people that are closest to you are somewhere in the medium, not who you know. Oh, I know somebody makes 500,000. I know somebody who makes $1 million. I know somebody, not who you know, but the 5 people today. Who are you going to be talking? I want you to look at the end of the day. Here's your homework assignment. At the end of today, I want you to look at your phone log. And I want you to go through and ask yourself, how many people did I talk to that are wealthy? We won't even put money in a number to it. That are wealthy, that are living the life that I want to live, the most extraordinary, ridiculous life that I had in really empowered conversations with. I want you to take an inventory. And if you want to take it a little bit further, heck, I won't even fault you for today. Take Monday through Friday and do an inventory of how many powerful conversations you have inserted yourself into about elevating your game of life, about expanding your life, about building your accumulation of client base, as far as being able to accumulate, we're talking about market share. See, when you're talking about running a business, when I'm running my ACM business, I'm talking about my market share, my accumulation of how much percentage do I have of Asia Pacific? What do I have in Colombia? What do I have in Japan? What's my percentage in Europe? How much do I have? Yeah, I started here in California with that slice, but I want to know exactly what leaders am I developing. See, when there's a problem, it's not with the people, it's with the leadership. When your team is not producing, it's not a problem with the people on your team. It's a problem in the managerial, in the leadership in your house. You're the leader. You're the problem, because they're going to activate, motivate, inspire people based on how it starts at the head. I can take a below average person and make them do extraordinary things. I mean, magical things, because of the belief in that person. Do they feel? Does your team feel? I want you to think about this. Of everyone you brought on, I've made a lot of mistakes. I'm not holier than thou. I've made all the mistakes you guys have made just so that we can even the playing field here. So nobody feels like I'm beating you up. Are you guys following me on that so far? But if you stay around long enough, you got to figure out, my leaders, am I dictating? Am I delegating? Am I telling them, you got to be on this call? You got to be at the national. You got to get 50 points. You got to get this. You got to go peak. Or am I actually saying, you know what? Sharon, you didn't have anybody on the call today. But you know what I'm so excited about? You were. So here's what I need to do. We need to have a conversation about how we're going to get 5 people on next week, just you and me. You know what, Catherine? I looked at the downline report and you only have about 45 points. I told you that I was going to be responsible when I brought you in, that I would be there for you to be successful. In order to be successful in this business, you're going to need at least 100 points to max out the comp plan. That's going to be about 7, 8, 9 other customers. Those 8, 9 other customers, what we're going to get them from is we're going to go and talk to 30 people this week about the opportunity. And the ones that say no, we're immediately going to convert them to a customer to support your cause. Is anybody getting this conversation? I'm not going to just tell them, okay, you got to go get, you need to get, you're right there at RD, you're right there at RC, you're right there at RVP, you're right there at SVP. This is what we got to do. I need you to go get these customers, because you not being where you need to be is holding up my check. But so many leaders do that. People come to the table with their agenda. Everybody has an agenda. But come with an agenda that's transparent, saying, I have to win. Rick, I got to win. I'm just thankful you're on my team. And you know how I'm going to win? I'm going to make you bigger than me. Do you have a problem with that, Rick? My job is to make your check bigger than I'll ever receive. That's the only way I can win. Will you come and win with me, Rick, please? It's a different conversation. Because it's no longer about me. It's about us. My language shifts. I go from an I to a we. And it's a very powerful, transparent, heartfelt conversation. Because that's how serious my time is. Me being you, you being me. That's how serious my relationships are. I'm going to say, Pat, this has nothing to do with ACN. This has to do with you and I. ACN is going to be responsible for writing a check to us for what we do. Because I have every intention of you being in my life for the rest of your life and my own. That's the only way we're going to make this thing work. Is to grow into a three-headed beast between Jabri, you, me, Pat. We got to go to work. And if that's not a family or a part you want to play in, please be upfront with me so I don't put any time into you until you're ready. I'm not saying I'm discarding you. I'm not saying I'm going to get rid of you. I'm not trying to fear of loss you and say you ain't jack unless you do this, or you got to do this, or why you dragging your feet. I'm saying no. It's okay. I know that you just lost your mom. I know that you might be going through foreclosure. I know that you just had a child. I know that you have things going on in your life. When you're ready, I need you to know the door is open, but I need you to have a very real conversation with me right now to let me know if you're ready now or if I should check back with you in 3 months. And you can still plug in everything. I'm still accessible. I'll still support you, but I need to find somebody who wants to run right now. That's what I need. It's just, I'm just being very transparent. It's what I need. Because I'm going to give you my soul, and I can't marry somebody who's only going to give me 50% of theirs. And this business and my dream and my why and my son and my child and my mom and everything I'm doing, I'm married to this. Even in doing it on a part-time basis. I don't need 100% of your time. I need 100% of your soul. Because I'm going to give you 100% of mine. I'm not a part. I serve a very jealous God. He's not a part-time God. He's been showing up when I don't even know he shows up. He told me just to have this little word that I've been practicing in my life called faith. Because hell's been breaking loose and the devil's running rampant with his underwear off, and I'm pissed off. So the people that I need on my squad, I need to understand a few words like patience, faith, being pissed off, result-oriented, good or bad. I don't care if you mess up. I don't care how many mistakes you make. We go through these relationships and the things that we do until we find what we need, not what we want. I hope y'all catch that. We go through all these pains and the growth and everything that we're dealing with until we find what we need. God will bring you what you need. The universe will bring you, if you are not on that level, then the universe will bring you what you need. You could call him the universe, you could call him Allah, Yahweh, Jesus Christ, I don't care. You could be Hasidic, you could be Christian, you could be Muslim, you can be Catholic. To me, there's one God, and you call him whatever you want, but he's only going to show up for those that show up for themselves. Once you take sitting down and I went to function yesterday, sitting with a husband and wife. And they said, well, what do you do? I said, oh, I'm the architect. He said, oh, that's amazing. What do you build houses? I said, no, I build lives. And I didn't flinch. I wasn't even laughing. It's truly my MO. I said, I build lives from the ground up. The most extraordinary, amazing human beings you'd ever see on the planet. He said, how does that work? So it's self-development. You're a coach. I said, nah. Now I have a waiting room. Coaches are people that are looking to be able to recruit a team. Teams are looking to recruit me. I said, so I'll give you an example. And I sat there and I said, you two are married, right? Yeah. I said, what do you want to give her more than anything else on the planet? And he looked and he said, I want to give her, I just want to take her all of her pay. I said, no, you got to identify 5 things. So this is why I get paid an extraordinary amount of money for what I do. 5 things that she wants more than anything. How long have you been together? She said, we've been together, married for 4 years, but we've been together 10 years. And you could see the love dripping all over. And I said, okay, so you want to take away all of her pain, and excellent. What's the second thing that you want to give her? And he said, I want to give her her music. She wants to sing. I wish I could go through the whole dialogue. It was quite amazing. I said, what's the third thing? And he stuttered and he's like, He said, I want to give her a baby. And she looked and she was like, I don't want a baby. I said, hence, you got to understand when you're growing yourself, when you're developing yourself, and you're developing it for someone else, and you have, this is where my 4 C's come in for those who've been around for a while. I said, the problem here is, and I can find it in every relationship, you not knowing exactly what she wants by the time you get to the 3rd, and I would have normally given you 5 if you sat down with me, means that you knew what she wanted when you dated her 10 years ago. You probably even knew exactly what she wanted when you got married. But in the time that you get comfortable, and that's where many of you are in this business, you're comfortable with living without knowing a destination or a destiny. You have lost your why. That's why people lose in this business. When you're very clear about what you're pointed towards, you aren't clear about what you're working for in this woman. And in that creates the breakdown. That creates the problem on the team. It's not constantly, that's like saying I'm 230 pounds, I want to lose 40, and you haven't been on the scale for about 6 months. It doesn't work. You must write it down. Inspect what I expect. And in that's why I have a mastermind at least 3 times a week with the people that are all equally yoked at going to 8 and 9 figures in life. Consistently. Pushing the needle. You don't do anything incidentally or accidentally. You will not accidentally hit RD. You will not accidentally hit RVP. You will not accidentally hit SVP. There are no accidents in success. Let's be very clear. I'm going to take 10 more minutes and wrap this up, and then leave you with 10 minutes to ask any questions. I want to show you, unless Mr. Al Thomas wants to wrap it up, I want to show you this. Make sure I'm going to show what my teamwork, so that you got to understand who you have to be in order to truly play on this team, in this university, and this mentality. How do you show up? Not how does the other person show up. Are you guys with me? I'm gonna slow that down. I'll say it again. How do you show up? What's your participation? There's gonna be mistakes. You're gonna get emotional. You're gonna get passionate. You aren't gonna be perfect. But the moment and every moment that you stop looking, blaming, or having an opinion about somebody else, and that's why the title of this is Am I Ready? Are you ready for your partner? Are you ready for your business? Are you ready for your wealth? Are you cheating somebody saying, this is what I want, but you really don't have what it takes to bring it to the table and match those people that you say, this is what I want? Then stop screwing up somebody else's life and go get yourself together. Push pause. Don't sit up there and say, I want the world, but I only have a dime to bring to the table. In equity, in effort, in mind, in soul. It's not fair. Sit up there and offer me an opportunity and you haven't maxed out your human potential. Yeah, I don't need you to be the best. I don't need you to have the most. I need you to do your best. And I need you to do the most. And when that happens, you don't have to justify it. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to tell nobody because you know I'm coming with everything. And when you're coming with everything, those that aren't, there's only one place they can go. They can fall off. It's not going to work unless everybody is bringing everything to the table. If you're talking about it, you ain't doing nothing. If you're doing it, everybody sees what you're doing in every partnership. Father, son, mother, daughter, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, ACM partnerships, your team, your squad. And if you aren't pissed off, there's something wrong with you in the first place. Is somebody hearing me? Just nod your head if y'all with me. I want to play this real quick.
The Oilers are a perfect 4-0.
Got one more item for you when you get a chance. We'd like it to stir up your cryo tanks.
How good can a team be? Seriously, how powerful is teamwork? Great teamwork. I mean, really ask that question. Who defines the limit? And what if we were to push that edge? Stop to think about this for a moment and realize that every team that accomplished the untouchable, every team that got out there, every team that had done what had never been done before, they all had to break through. They all had to understand that there was this edge. And then they had to challenge the edge. And then they had to break through that invisible line. They all had to do it.
Through that group of incredibly talented people, bumping up against each other, having arguments, having fights sometimes, making some noise, and working together, they polish each other. And they polish the ideas, and what comes out are these really beautiful stones.
There's no other way to get through other than challenging your fears. Because in order for teamwork to be at its highest potential, everyone's got to have something on the line. You have to. Otherwise, you're only partway in. At the end of the day, you're going to need to trust those around you. To fully trust. This is about us. And you can count on me. I think about New Zealand, this country with under 5 million people. And they have the best rugby team in the world. The All Blacks. Consistently the best in the world. Or the Apollo mission. A group of people saying, we hear you. We've got you. And all of our talents are on the line to get you home. That's teamwork. Think about the Beatles. All of that music that we know of theirs, all of it, was made in about 8 years. Just 8 years. They were that incredible as a team. Great teams, I mean, they're not about individuals melting into the team. That's the mistake. People hear about the power of teamwork, and they think it's about losing yourself to the singular goal. They think it's about fully giving in to something bigger than you. You don't lose yourself. Great teammates, they don't lose themselves. They stand up. They say, I'm here. They choose to be in, and they choose to play their unique part. That's how it works. So then what's the breakthrough? What did those teams see to unlock the full power of teamwork? You know, that's the hard part. You can't see the edge. You actually don't know where it is until you cross over and look back and see where it was. That's why it's always easier. I mean, it's always easier to catch up than it is to raise the bar. Because the team that broke through, they marked the line. And now everyone else, they just need to get over that mark. The Patriots, Belichick, Brady. I mean, what they've been doing is so unbelievable because they keep raising the bar. They keep nudging it higher. So even if people catch up, it's too late. You know, Steve Jobs and Apple.
For the first time ever, I'd like to let Macintosh speak for itself.
They were operating in this abyss. I mean, they were out there in this vast unknown. So instead of breaking through, instead of seeing the line, you have to forget the line. It's just another limit. The marker in great teams is never external. Because you're out in this unknown. You're out in this unmapped territory. So instead, the power of teamwork comes from a belief. It comes from a mindset. We can't get satisfied by the breakthroughs. We can celebrate them. We should celebrate them, but we can't be satisfied by the limits. That's what humbles me the most about great teams. That's what humbles me the most about the power of teamwork. Because it's almost like you've got to operate in the darkness, knowing you're lighting the path for everyone else, and still heading out there, still pushing that edge. That's how to unlock the power of teamwork.
To copy at the point. And on the board, take There's the presentation to Wayne Gretzky, the young Edmonton captain.
The things that stand out more than anything else, I mean, there's a whole lot of things. Pushing the limit, there is no line. Don't look at the line. Where are you going? But really what stands out to me, and it's really amazing why I keep saying, look at your surroundings, because when you get into conversations, you'll start to notice when there's conflict and those stones are rubbing and polishing and creating. You'll know the right ones to take a step back and lift up and truly figure out how to take that weight off of you. Take that mental burden of they fight to want to take it off of you, whatever that stress is. We aren't talking about financial, we aren't talking about life, we're just talking about when you have the people, it's like they're constantly looking at themselves like, what the hell am I doing wrong? As opposed to reminding you all that they've done, all that they've been through, the price that they paid for this business, for their life, or for their health, or for whatever it is. If you're constantly talking about all that you've done, and you're looking at what greatness is, because everybody has their own race. The body that you have, if it's the body that you want and it's sculpted, are you here to tell people the price you paid, or does it just show up? If you have amassed X amount of money, if you have earned a position at SVP, if you have gone and gotten a gold medal in the Olympics, do they sit back? Do they even have time to talk about, do you understand the sacrifice? If you got to explain the sacrifice, you just got hit by a truck and you're fighting to live. If you got time to explain the sacrifice you had to get your last breath and live, are you just so excited about the fact of something that you overcame and it was so stupendous that the world will stand in awe because you continue to live in that edge? What stood out most is the fact that he said there is no extra. It's like, I keep doing this, I keep paying this, I'm doing all that I can. You are not doing all you can. None of us are. There is no extra and price in the land of greatness. It's an abyss. Extra, doing more, paying more, hurting more, going through more pain, doing all that you have to. Those lonely moments when you feel like nobody else is there, nobody else understands you. Nobody else is becoming your customer. Nobody else is getting your business, is where greatness lives. They don't talk about it. There's nothing to talk about. I'm used to loneliness. I'm cool being damn by myself. Me, my God, and where I go. I'm really freaking okay. Because I know when I get to each level that I get to, there's millions that want to be in my space. I'm not looking for nobody except for the person in the mirror. Nobody's going to understand until you get where you're supposed to get. I hope somebody's getting this message. Nobody's going to understand. Nobody. Because nobody knows the road that you walked, the pain that you went through, the hurt, the divorce, the child, all of that. And nobody gives a damn either, quite frankly, until you become an overcomer. Until you overcome all of it, then everybody wants to hear your story. I am complete for today.